Hey guys, it's Daryl here. It's Wednesday morning. I've been doing a lot of research here this morning. This all comes down to two factions, the Sunnis and the Shiites. I'm talking about this situation that's risen up now with us in the middle involving Iran. The Shiites and the Sunnis. This goes back 1400 years. The Shiites wanted the Prophet Muhammad, they wanted his brother-in-law to succeed him. The Sunnis wanted the father-in-law to succeed him. This was 1400 years ago, and this is what this is all over. Now, there's battlegrounds where these proxy wars are being fought in Syria, Yemen, and Iraq. Now, see, we're getting involved in the middle of all of this because I think we support Saudi Arabia, and Trump strongly supports Saudi Arabia. Personally, I see a lot of business ties there. We've been selling Saudi Arabia all sorts of weaponry. I was just looking up. We gas up our super tankers. We're gassing up Saudi F-15s twice. Our tankers were going out twice a day for a while to fuel up Saudi F-15s to bomb Yemen. Now, Yemen's a hot spot. It's 65% Sunni. Now, Saudi Arabia is Sunni. Iran is Shiite. All right? And now I look at the assassination of Suleimani. He was a Shiite leader involved in Yemen. I'm starting to wonder, Trump says this is all about, because he breaks down that Suleimani was a bad man. He talks about roadside bombs, blowing up servicemen, which is all true, and he was a bad man. But I've always had a gut feeling that this goes a lot deeper. The picture I'm starting to get, it almost looks like Trump did a hit for Saudi Arabia, an assassination, took out a hit on Soleimani. Because obviously Saudi Arabia did not like Soleimani. Soleimani was a Shiite, and he was getting, now there's Houthi rebels that Soleimani was backing. Shiite Houthi rebels in Yemen. Saudi Arabia is very worried about Yemen because it's right on their doorstep. They want to keep it Sunni. Now, Iraq is now run by Shiites mostly too. And we had Soleimani, a Shiite militia leader. We back Saudi Arabia, who is mostly Sunni. And Soleimani seemed to have some business still in Yemen. So what I'm seeing, I don't know if you guys see this picture developing. Trump has a lot of ties. Initially, I started looking up the situation, like Saudi Arabia, because Trump and his ties and his glowing praise of Saudi Arabia and his glowing praise of North Korea. And I started to look this up. Because, we describe Soleimani as a murdering terrorist and all that, which he was. But then I started looking up how it's hypocritical. Because Trump is Trump was speaking glowingly of Kim Jong-il, who is by far a worse man than Soleimani ever hoped to be. And I was looking into Saudi Arabia and killing the journalist Khashoggi and all that. And then I started to get the basic idea of what's going on. It's all about these two factions, Sunnis and Shiites, and this 1400-year-old war between these two Muslim factions. And it seems like Trump is getting in the middle of it. We keep backing Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia and Iran are on two different sides. And they're more or less fighting these little proxy wars. In Yemen, right on Saudi's doorstep. In Iraq, right on Iran's doorstep. And up in Syria. And Trump seems to have bumbled his way right into the middle of this 1400-year-old situation. It's been going on before, Apparently, Saddam Hussein was a faction of the Sunnis. So he was a minority controlling the Shiite population. There's been friction in that whole freaking area for 1,400 years. So my point here is the United States getting involved in the middle of this is a no-win freaking situation. This has been going on for 1,400 years. And then if you don't even take into account the animosity between the Jewish people and the Muslims, which is a whole nother story on top of it. I haven't even looked into that yet. How Trump is friends with Saudi Arabia, a Sunni Muslim country, and Israel, a Jewish country, and those two countries are by no means friends. It's basically what I'm saying. It is by far a no-win situation getting involved. We don't belong in this anywhere in this conflict. We have no place in this conflict whatsoever. It never even involved us, and it never will. So I start to wonder. It's because to me, it seems like Trump is hiding something. It seems like, not hiding something, but he's not telling us the whole truth. As far as Suleimani, his assassination, and why it was there, when it was there, was it just an opportunity? Trump claims he was on his way to commit some heinous act somewhere. I'm not buying that. To me, it's starting to look like Trump carried out a hit for Saudi Arabia. It looks to me like Trump assassinated Suleimani as a favor to Saudi Arabia, and has now got us involved. What could easily blow up to be an all-out war between Saudi Arabia and Iran, and us on Saudi Arabia's side. And then on top of this too, I've also been looking up just the disorganization of Trump's whole administration. The conflicting reports. We've got his Department of Defense sent out a letter saying that we were leaving Iraq. And then a day later, they say, no, that letter was a mistake. It was never signed. It should have never been sent out. We're staying. And then the parliament in Iraq throws us out. They want us to leave. Just conflicting back and forth. It's like, if you didn't know better, you'd think that Trump and his administration weren't that organized, you know. And then we got Pompeo going on. Was it Face the Nation? Was it claiming that Trump never said anything about hitting places of cultural significance? And a couple hours later, Trump comes out and says it again, that he's going to hit. Basically, what I'm saying here is you've got an administration that doesn't look like it knows its ass from its elbow, the Trump administration, really. Of course, you have Trump supporters saying, this is true, I heard this in the gym today. Trump supporters saying that it's all Trump's plan. You know, he's playing that 3 or 4 level chess or whatever their claim was. You know, he's looking like, in other words, he's trying to look like a bumbling fool on purpose to surprise everybody, so they underestimate him. Trump supporters, apparently a good portion of them actually believe this, that Trump's got a grand plan and all this disorganization is all just a show, just to throw people off. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I wanted to do this video. That was what this video was about here. Looking back at so you could understand a little more about this big mess that we really shouldn't be even involved in between Shiites, Sunnis. And like I said, I wanted to find out more about specifically why Trump, this assassination of Suleimani. To me, it looks like he was like a hitman for Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, because Soleimani was going back and forth to Yemen, Iraq, and there's a fight, an ongoing Sunni-Shiite fight in both those countries, fighting by proxy wars, and Soleimani was a general involved in those. So I would imagine, this is my own estimation from my research, that I'm sure Saudi Arabia would love nothing more than to see Soleimani dead. because they want Yemen to be all Sunni. And Suleimani was a big pain in their ass, backing the Houthi rebels. So I'm starting to wonder if Trump was just a hired hitman for Saudi Arabia, killing Suleimani. And Trump, not ever looking into the future much. I don't know if he realized that. You know, he's now become a major. It's going to become a major part of this. What will probably more than likely be a large scale Middle Eastern conflict. So that's what I've researched so far. The interesting part was about the Sunnis and the Shiites and how it's a 1,400-year-old thing, just involving the Prophet Muhammad and who the Muslims wanted as a successor. That's all what this is all about. 1,400 years. The Sunnis wanted the father-in-law, Muhammad's father-in-law, to succeed. The Shiites wanted the brother-in-law to succeed. And that's what this is all about. This is the mess that we got involved in. It's a 1,400-year-old conflict about who was going to succeed Muhammad, their prophet. That's why we're looking at a war right now. Yeah. All right. You guys have a good day.